And what happened? The president was not there to defend the constitutional rights of the people. That's all we are calling for. I just say, Mr. President, do your job. He's so quick to go abroad.
There is this thing that bothers me so much, and as a concerned Nigerian, I decided to talk about it. The incident that occurred, or the massacre that occurred in Plateau State. A lot of people are talking about it, and while some are saying that it is no longer a new thing, that we should just forget about it. But these are people's children, people's wife, people's husband, and even people's family. And what bothers me so much is that these are Christians that are well targeted in all of this massacre that recently occurred, that resolved over the death of hundreds good citizens of Nigeria. Anyway, I want you guys to watch this particular video of Arise TV News on how everything went and what these people are saying.
Dr. Rufai Ayo, this visit, as you know, it's came at the right time. I applaud the Vice President for going out there at the time that he did. But of course, a lot of Nigerians are asking, why is it that this is the same rhetoric that we get? Every time we see these things happen, the government officials go out there. But I want to insist that this is a new administration, and I'm hoping that it's going to be different. One of the comments that we got online was the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not visited. He is the head of the family at this point. When your child dies, you go and condole with the family and bury your children properly, correct? Everywhere, across the world, if an incident like this occurs, the first person that you'll see out there is the president. Rufai, I know you did make that comment, and yes. I would like to align with you because we want this not to be the same type of situation that we've been hearing for years. And also the fact that the governor of Plateau State, which I'll take as well, he did attend that jollificating visit, like you mentioned yesterday, with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He actually attended the party at the same time. It is not the right optics that we see here. I mean, that is the picture that was circulating, and he did come under fire. Let me take a DEC tweet before I come to you, Rufai. DEC wrote, #Plateau Massacre. The governors did not find it fit or right to visit Bokkos in Plateau State, where over 120 people were killed and families thrown into grieving, but found it good to converge in Lagos and visit Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You see how upset people are.
So, you see, and I made an explanation earlier on, and I say, you see, it comes from a place of mental hitherto torture. A lot of Nigerians have been tortured mentally without knowing. We come from a long line at first of colonialists. No, let me even chat a historiography. We come from a long line of culture where leaders are not to be challenged. In Yoruba culture, what do we call a king? We say Kabiyesi. What it means is nobody dares ask you anything. So then afterwards, after the British came and the amalgamation, they came late 1800s. I mean, okay, they came late 1800s when Kosoko and Akitoye, that was their en route amalgamation. First amalgamation 1906, proper amalgamation 1914, Northern Southern Protectorate. The colonialists now became the next Kabiyesi that we couldn't ask them anything. You know, the likes of Lugard became a brute and a terrible human being. Then it now cascaded into the first set of freedom fighters. When they finally got the power and became leader, they now became the first set of Kabiyesi. Then we had corruption, we had many things. I don't want to mention leaders of those days. Then we had the military incursion. Then we're now back to civilian. So it has always been a Kabiyesi. So we are not known to hold our leaders accountable. So when we hold them accountable, it's not cultural. Because everybody goes to leaders for benefits, for waiting you carry come for Christmas and all of that. But it doesn't make it right. The first person that should have been there is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He swore by it.
Absolutely.
to defend his people, to defend the Constitution, to defend the rights. He said he's going to defend the Constitution. Doesn't the Constitution say people have freedom of association and movement? The constitutional rights of the people in Bokkos were violated. Blood is all of our hands. And what happened? The president was not there to defend the constitutional rights of the people. That's all we are calling for. I just say, Mr. President, do your job. He's so quick to go abroad to look for investors. So are the lives of the people not worth investing? It's the optics. And not visiting, I say kudos to the vice president. A lot of people have made the argument that the president and the vice president is, no, I'm sorry, I don't buy the argument. It's the president people voted for on the ticket.
Yes, absolutely.
He's the head of the ticket. When they returned presidential candidates in the election, they returned Bola Ahmed Tinubu first. Yes, the vice president, yeah, but he's the one they voted for.
Yes.
So please, I think this should be the last time in time of national crisis we're calling our leaders. Some have even further made the argument that the president Buhari go to a war. So I now look at that again. So Buhari has become a standard.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Is
said,
that the standard we want to set? It's a new administration we expect. It's got to be different. And for Governor Mofwang that is jollificating and all of that, he should be careful. I beg him, he should be careful. What the people of those areas need is love, is peace. They just want to live. These people are poor, Audrey. They are mostly potato farmers. Bokkos, mango, and some like potato farmers. Please, let us do what is right. And it's not because we have anything against the president. If the president goes there, we will celebrate him. But it's just what is right. So I understand those that are saying, no, the vice president has got... No. The president must be there. Accountability must start. I know we don't have that culture of accountability. So I excuse dissenting opinion about. We don't have the culture of accountability. Holding government accountable like we're doing our rights is not a Nigerian thing. But we need to start developing it.
Yes, this is different at this point. Ayo.
Yeah, I totally agree with your line of thought, both Rufai and Oji, and the fact that I believe that the president missed a fine moment to demonstrate very strong leadership abilities and leadership skills. When we have incidents like this in other parts of the world, the leader, there's nothing like Christmas. There's nothing like meetings. You suspend everything. And I think it also points to the fact that because of the number of violent attacks in that area and also in other parts of Nigeria, we've become quite desensitized to death tolls. So when we hear 150 people killed, only 150, last year, it's a competition of numbers. Because only earlier this year, in June of this year, the same Bokkos local government area, Mangu local government, 150 people were killed over 3 weeks this same year.
I love it.
A month afterwards, and by that time, President Tinubu had been sworn in, but let's excuse him. At that time, he had just come into office, so he was just, putting things together. 6 months, 7 months down the line, the same thing happened, despite the promises that were made in July to the governor of the state when the IGL police visited him alongside the commanding officer of Operation Safe Haven from the military. They said they were going to put out, equip the officers, ensure we will not have a repeat of this. What do we have 5 months after that visit? Another attack, and now possibly the numbers will top those numbers. But guess what? Business as usual, governors are still going to meet. It shows that we've become desensitized over the years to death tolls. A small incident, and let me use that word very lightly, happens in other parts of the world. You see Nigerians shouting, I stand with Israel, I stand with Palestine. We are talking about the problems that plague other people. When 7 people are killed by a deranged person in the US, we are talking, it makes headlines on international media. Nigeria follows suit. When 150 people die in our own country, initially we're like, okay, 2 days later, 3 days later, we're not even talking about the fact that VP went to visit. He went 3 days later, so he had spent Christmas with his family, he had gone to Lagos to see the president, and then he went to see the people of Bokkos who did not have Christmas. I think this is a big issue, and I'm glad that we're saying it's not business as usual. The previous administration must never be a standard of leadership. That was horrible, it was terrible, it was criticized, and we are hoping for better. And we're saying this now because next time, We want the president to see Nigerians speak out about this, so that he will take responsibility. So, I mean, it's happened. Yeah. But next time, when things happen, he must be at the forefront of showing empathy. He must really, it's not just about statements. He must see the people, visit them, let them see a leader, a true leader in our president.
Anyway, while I was complaining about the Plateau State massacre and how the Nigerian government are taking things unlightly, then they came out, the Director Development Spec Academy, saying that 2023 has been the best year since he was born, even since the beginning of democracy in Nigeria. The reason he said this, and I want you guys to watch it. We'll be right back.
Well, quite frankly, I think this is one of the best years Nigeria has had since independence, and I'll tell you why I think so. When false identities, there's a presumption that assuming a new government comes in, makes everything to go very well, that Nigerians are then good in themselves and will go ahead and everything will be well. Let's look at it. I think this year is one of the most dramatic in unraveling the fraud called the average person, not people in office. Beginning from the elections, let's even look at the dynamics and logistics. It was projected that Tinubu will not get the ticket. And within the context of that, things like Naira redesign was mentioned. His own acolytes came out to challenge him on the ticket. Came out on the podium in APC, they lost. Then the many elections, it was envisaged that, he wouldn't even be allowed to contest. It didn't happen. Then elections held, Supreme Court, nothing happened. Now, let's look at this within the context of a nation that's presumably on the right track. The international community were there. Nothing happened. The alleged powerful people in Nigeria, elder statesmen and elder states, whatever, they're here. So what we see is a progressive, steady unraveling of the nation towards a path of greater political maturity. So I don't share the pessimism. I don't share the assumption that anything bad is happening. Where you have a lot of unruly children who are kept under control by the hammer or the cane, it does not translate into the fact that those children are of good behavior on their own. Now it's like things have been loosened up and we are seeing what people really are. If today I win an election by fraudulent means, one thing you can be sure of is that I'm not the one who went to carry the ballot box. And that the people who did it did not refuse and say this is bad. So for me, this is one of the most critical years of national political evolution. And evolution, if you put a seed in the soil, the first thing that will happen is that it will decay. So it's a year of decay towards a rebirth, a lot of economic discomfort. Yes, the fuel price is biting. This is about our country.
All right, we have come to the end of today's program. What is your take about these whole issues? I want to hear from you in the comment section. What do you think about the analysis of Arise TV News, what Rufai Oseni said about the security agency? What do you also think about the Director Development Spec Academy, how he said 2023 has been the best year for him so far, or even on the Nigeria political space and the points he gave? Comment your thoughts in the comment section. All right, we're going to be ending the video here. Until we meet again, stay tuned, Plan B TV. Peace out.
Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Everybody make you welcome to Plan B TV. I'll give you the news, I see the hot up. You subscribe and give them thumbs up. Now they go give you the updates. They are the new blocks in the town. Now they go give you the gist though. Now they go give you all the news, cause it's kind of weather you need all the fun, oh. I said now who they is on a Plan B TV. Plan B TV. I said now who they is on a Plan B TV. Plan B TV. I said now who they is on a Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV.